So we are back, and today we're having a look at Wizard Liz and her recent Q&A with her husband, who we've all just found out has cheated on her while she is 4 months pregnant. Now, I've never known of Wizard Liz. It's the first I've ever heard of her, but you guys have sent her over to me, asking me to take a look at this video and see if I can spot any of those red flags that may be hinting towards the fact that there's a problem, that he's cheating, that something else is going on. Let's take a watch together.
And they'll do like a Q&A about a relationship, and they're just gonna make it look like everything is rainbows and butterflies. At the end of the day, you get into relationships to grow, and a marriage, in my opinion, and I think we agree on this. Do you not want me to say that?
Oh, I want you to say whatever you want.
Okay. A marriage is about...
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. I think the purpose of life is creation and evolution. So you get together in a relationship with someone, you get married, you create together, you create success, a family, and then you evolve together. So honestly, for this Q&A, I don't want to like, I want us to be real.
I wasn't planning on.
I want us to be real and just be like, yeah, okay, here's what it's like.
Channel, but
Like, I find it kind of weird that he's like saying, I don't want to lie. Kind of like almost saying that she lies. You know, that's the assumption here, is that she tells lies, which is kind of weird. Seems like, I mean, obviously we're aware that he's a cheater, so that's probably a projection. You know, people who are doing bad things will tell you that they're doing bad things by what they accuse you of, so keep an eye out for that one. But it seems odd because, like, she's his wife and it's her channel, and presumably he's aware of the business that she's in. Surely he's aware that, you know, she doesn't tell lies, that she tells the truth. I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to kind of preface that with the fact, oh, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure what you're going to do here, but I'm going to be honest. Seems weird.
I always just say whatever I feel.
Okay. You're so beautiful.
You can just say whatever you want.
Hit that like button if you think Liz is just so beautiful.
Okay.
See, that's really weird. Like, he seems like he's very smug there. Like, it almost feels a little bit like hateful, actually. You know, it's like, okay, like, I don't trust you to be that you always tell the truth. And then he immediately switches to a compliment which has no relation to what they're talking about at all. Kind of takes you off guard a little bit, and then tries to sort of embarrass her a little bit. And if you look at the facial expression he's making there, he's like really kind of, it looks quite smug, like a smugness that he's sharing this joke around her. It almost feels a little bit like, you know, like he hates her, to be honest. It's that kind of like, it's kind of like that thing of, you know, you're beautiful and that's all that you've got. And that it feels a little bit like that. You know, leave a like if you think she's beautiful because she's a dumbass and she's a liar. That feels like the undertone of this.
Don't do that, please.
And he just seems so fucking
Okay. Anyway, so
there.
how did you guys meet?
We've kind of told this a little bit, haven't we?
We've talked about this before, but I want to clarify actually the story because I've seen some stuff online that's not true. So basically, me and Landon first met now 4 years ago.
Something like that.
4
Yeah,
years
3.5.
ago, Landon messaged me. He DM'd me on Instagram, and he DM'd me a book that I should read. Then I was getting into my previous relationship, so we did message like back and forth.
Pretty much, one day I opened my Instagram, and this is when, I guess they still do it now, but you would get like recommended posts, and I think Liz's content was just starting to blow up, and so I got a recommended post about her account, and I saw her, and I immediately was like, oh my gosh, there's something special about this person. I don't know what it is. Obviously you're so beautiful, but there was something deeper. And so I was like, I'm gonna send her a message. What should I say? And then I realized, like, I just want to add value. Like, maybe there's something I could like put you on. And so I sent her a book recommendation for a book called The Master Key System, which is the best book I've ever read. So I highly recommend it.
I remember I looked at his pictures and
Just wait for it. We know what's coming. I looked at his pictures and he is like tiny weird nerdy boy.
you really didn't look how you look right now. Like you were.
He's had a glow up. He's had a glow in the relationship with her. I mean, I don't want to be a bitch, okay? Because he seems, I personally judge people on their souls, but I mean, you know, we kind of recognize that this guy's a bit of a douchebag anyway. So let's eviscerate him. So like she's probably like a 8-10, depending on where you kind of like that kind of look. She's, you know, so it's like she's obviously kind of in attractiveness looks, you know, she's kind of he's pitching, he's punching above his weight, and that's fair enough. Beautiful, lovely, well done him. But what seems interesting is that he's kind of had a glow up in the relationship with her, and there's this, I mean, is it Billie Eilish that said, you know, you what is it, date a nerdy guy, give an ugly guy a chance, and then he'll use it against you. Like it's a thing, lady, watch yourself.
I just thought, oh, he's so cute, he looks so nerdy, you know, like...
I think I look older now and nerd though. Like I have a nerdy look.
Yeah, but no, now I feel like you've evolved a little bit.
Upper nerd.
Upper nerd.
Upper nerd. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, when I saw those pictures, I was like...
You know, I've got a friend of mine who's like this. Who is like a 10, you know, and every band wants her because she is like a model. But she can't find a boyfriend. And the boyfriends that she has had are all dickheads because they all kind of like almost hate her. They all kind of hate her. It's like they want to own you, they want you, but they hate you. It's a really weird thing. It's like, you know, I can remember one of my lecturers at uni. He's passed away, unfortunately, now, bless him. But he always said, always down date. You're like, you don't want to be the ugly person in a relationship, because I think if you are the ugly person in the relationship, it creates so much stuff. Like there's so much stuff in there. There's so much like insecurity, and then you start projecting your shit onto everybody else, and it's like, because you've put that person on a pedestal and because you adore them, you know, it creates this very kind of like unhealthy thing. And it's, you know, there's no objectivity in what is beautiful, what's not beautiful. That's your own subjective awareness. You know, beauty is genuinely in the eye of the beholder. Like I personally love people's souls, and I love nerdy guys. But, you know, I see people's souls, and you could be the most beautiful person ever. And if you've got a dirty, ugly soul, you're unattractive to me, you know? But I think that when you are in this kind of like frame of mind where you see something, you see her and she's so beautiful and I want to possess it, which is kind of, it sounds like this is where he's coming from. And then you receive it, you manage to get hold of it. It's like there's so much fear and concern and worry about keeping hold of that thing, and then there's all this weird jealousy, and you start to project your insecurities onto the other person. It's all fucking weird, you know. It feels a bit fucking weird from the beginning here.
Oh, he looks cute, but obviously
He's so
I didn't
diplomatic.
think anything of it. We just talked a little, and that was it. I got into my relationship. You also
notice his body language. He's noticed it. He's like, and she looks cute. Like he didn't like. He's like. You know, and again, because he thinks she's more attractive than he is, okay, which objectively we could all agree that she probably is, but at the same time, because he's experiencing that, there's this subjective stuff that's going on. And so if she confirms it back to him, he's going to hate her for confirming it back to him. And you can kind of see this kind of self-soothing of him touching his face, of like, you know, and this kind of jutting out of the chin and a sort of smiling, but he's also kind of biting his lip, if you kind of see a little bit as well. So it looks a little bit like he's kind of biting back his actual expressions and trying to remain kind of like that everything's great kind of grin, when actually there's probably some other stuff going on at the bottom. And you can see he keeps checking his face as well in the camera. He's not looking at the camera, he's watching himself, and he's not looking at her either. When she's talked to him, she's been speaking a lot towards him, and she's looks at his eyes, his mouth, his eyes, his mouth, his eyes, his mouth, because she seems genuinely kind of attracted to him. He's not looking at her very much at all.
Also got into a relationship then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we were both like just living our lives, and
but in my head, I like adored you, to be honest. Like every time that you would send me a message, I got just uniquely excited. And also it'll tie into the story, but the first time you ever sent me a voice message, I remember I was in the LA airport trying to fly home to Dallas, and I got a voice message from you, and that...
You just look at the way she's looking at him. Like, she clearly adores him. It's a shame.
Like, really stuck with me, and I always thought about you in airports for some reason, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, so fast forward, then 3 years later, I went on a trip with my friend, and we were going to Santorini, and this was such a last minute trip. Like, I was like, let's just go. I finally want to go out. Like, I want to just really live my life. And I had booked so last minute that we had a stop in Athens, because normally it was directly to Santorini. We weren't meant to stop in Athens. And the thing I want to clarify, because a lot of people think that you stalked me.
Which is crazy, by the way. We just got engaged and Liz posted that video. There were some comments that were like, I think this guy is like an upper stalker.
Her.
He like knew where she was gonna be.
My friend.
Did you notice how he's slightly gotten redder in that moment? And there was a bit of kind of like sort of chin jutting, which tends to be like an affront to the information that's being spoken. He's looking at her now, but I don't know. And he also laughed as well ahead of time. So that was kind of weird that he laughed.
Does not have social media. Like, she doesn't have Instagram, and I never ever post my location for safety reasons. Never ever. I will only post even the background where you can recognize something when I've already left. There's crazy people out there, you know? So no way he could have known I'm in Athens, and especially there. So the crazy part is...
And again, she seems to be defending this point, like belaboring it, like there's no way, you know, there probably is ways that he could know where you are. I don't know how, I'm not a stalker, but
me and my friend, we quickly...
It's giving me out the lady doth protest too much kind of vibe.
We completely walked through this airport. We got like 2 cookies and we sat somewhere where we weren't supposed to sit at all. It was not our gate. It was just this random place.
This whole story is just so crazy.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we sat there. I had like a mask on and a cap, okay? No one recognized me. No one could recognize me. We were gonna get up. We were sitting there 5 minutes, get up and go to our gate because we had our flight. Then all of a sudden, like...
This big upper nerd walks up.
Like, Len walked by and I guess you saw me.
Yeah, I saw you from like... I guess, hold on, before you give like the key moment. So like from my POV, like, yeah, I was dealing with, before I met Liz, I was in a relationship that was just so difficult for me. I had this attachment that I had such a hard time like really growing through and away from. And I was just kind of following this path that led me into Ibiza last summer.
Ibiza, by the way. Same, it's also chorizo, not chorizo, but autism. But, people who start to do this monkey branching, okay, it's like monkey branching from one relationship to the other one is gross. You know, if you're in a relationship and you're already starting to look outside of the relationship for new people or new potential spouses, you need to get a bit of a grip and kind of get rid of the relationship that you're already in, because that's the beginning stages of cheating. So the fact that she was in a relationship when they started talking, he was in a relationship when they started talking, is a big old fucking red flag for me. And I would be, you know, if this was a client, I'd already be like saying like, guys, you know, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? This isn't healthy. We don't monkey branch, like hold on to one branch and then grab another one before we let go. You know, you either make the jump or you don't do it. You know, don't hold on to 2 branches at the same time because you don't want to fall on your own. It's narcissistic.
And I ended up meeting some people that I was going to go to Mykonos with. So it was like an Ibiza trip for 2 weeks and then a Mykonos trip.
Every time he says it makes me cringe.
And the people that I was staying with ended up trying to scam me a couple times. They successfully scammed like $20-something thousand. And whenever I landed in Athens, which is where I was connecting to go to Mykonos, that whole trip got canceled. Like that part of it did. And so I was just sitting there and thinking, oh man, what the heck? Why is this happening? Like, God, I try to be a nice person. I believe you get what you give. So like, why is this happening to me?
The lack of self-awareness. You know, the man sliding in people's DMs and trying to get rid of, like, staying in a relationship that ultimately he doesn't want to stay in. But he's like, God, why have you forsaken me? It's like, God's not forsaking you. It's your own fucking dumb behavior that's creating karma for you in your life and you're blaming God for it. It's like, no. You know, most of us sit and do such unconscious bad things at all times. And then we sit there and we're like, why have I been hurt and karma? And it's like, no, it's you. You've created all the situations in your life through your own dumb behavior. So irony. And if you haven't seen my Aubrey Marcus video, I talk about this a little bit in that one. I'll put a thing up there if I remember. But he also did this thing where he's like, okay, well, I've met this person now, and so it must be divine fate and destiny. And it's like, not everything that you move towards is a positive connection. Yeah, it's like, just because you've seen her in the airport and you're also in the airport at the same time, that doesn't mean that you two are destined to be together. This may have been an opportunity opportunity to rectify some of the shitty karma that you've got by recognizing you're in a relationship with somebody else. You don't go and hit on somebody else who's also in a relationship in an airport. Because it's like, look what's happened now as a result of this. They're telling themselves that it's divine destiny, but actually this is probably like a fucking chance for you to rectify some of your karma, but you haven't rectified it because, once again, you've chosen your ego. You've chosen your instead.
And I was like, you know what? Time to end my trip, go back to America. I went to go get my bags off the plane so they didn't go to Mykonos without me. And I realized I had left my backpack in a gate in airport security. And so I was like, wait, I really need that. I never lose this bag. So I went to go get my backpack. In that moment, I do remember feeling like I was being led in some way. Like there was just some path that I was supposed to walk down and follow. I didn't know why. I knew my bag was going to be right where I thought it was. I turn the corner, I get my bag. I remember I took a picture of it. It was like 4:30 p.m. I was like, oh, well, it's there. Okay, time to go home. I get my bag, I start walking to leave the airport, and as I'm walking, I try to be observant, but I'm like looking around, and then I walked a step and I felt like I entered just like a new dimension. Not to sound crazy, but I took a step forward and I felt like I walked through a veil almost. And then immediately I sensed that I need to look up right over here, and I look up and I see Liz sitting. She has a hat on. She had like a mask basically covering her face. She was eating food, so like I can't even really see her. She's sitting by her friend, and I thought, oh my God, that's Liz. And I recognized you. I had no idea, like I had never seen you before in person.
And I remember he was like, Liz, and I look up, and guys, before I even recognized him, because he didn't look like how I remember 3 years ago, and I vaguely watched like one picture, so I didn't even know what you really
Did you watch
like.
any of my videos back in the day?
No, never. Okay. And so I saw him, and before I even recognized him, I go like, Landon? And I was like, huh? How did I even say that?
Yeah.
And it's so weird. So he went to sit next to me, and he was like explaining everything that had happened. But I remember like when we were...
Did he show her the picture of the bag that he took at 4:30 p.m. to prove that he wasn't stalking her, but actually he'd left his bag? Because that would have been really like hella convenient, right?
Talking, I felt such an energy come over me. Like I literally explained to my friend, I felt like everything in the airport just stopped and we were the only ones there. And I remember thinking...
I had the same, I was overwhelmed by that
me
feeling,
too.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking like, also, why does he look like me? That's the first thought I had. I think I told you that. I'm like, you kind of look like me. So I was...
Oh God, it's twin flames. Oh, holy crap-a-poli. Yeah, twin flames, good luck. Yeah, the whole twin flame thing, it's a real thing, but this is somebody that comes into your life to fuck your life up so much that you can eradicate like loads of karma from yourself. You're not supposed to be with your twin flame. I have to rectify everything that I ever said on my blow up channel on Tarot for Empress Tarot Easter. I don't believe that you're supposed to be with your twin flame anymore. Me and my twin flame went through absolute fucking hell together. I tricked myself into thinking that we were supposed to be together. We weren't. This guy is a douchebag. This guy's a douchebag. Douchebags. A twin flame is there to kind of like, you know, they're mirrors for you. So they mirror your own bad behavior back to you. And it's an opportunity for you to kind of really level up very quickly with karma, but it's brutally painful.
Like, what is this?
And it feels like it's destined because it is destined, but not because you're supposed to be with that person or having children with or anything. Like, no.
And I'm a very feeling-based person, so I feel a lot of things, and I've never felt like something come over me like this. And yeah, like, do you want to come to Santorini with us?
Like, it was like the very end of the conversation too, because I was just telling her what I was going through, and I was like, hey, sorry, just throw this on you, but I'm going back to America.
Bad. I felt so bad because people scammed you, and I was so sad.
I did say though, like, I'm not saying this so you feel bad for me. Like, I was just telling you what I was going through, and like as soon as I'm about to get up to leave, Liz was like, well, do you want to come to Santorini with us? And I was like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah, and then he was like, let me think about it. Like, he said, I don't know if you said yes.
No, I didn't. I said, ooh, give me a second. Like, maybe.
Like,
yeah, it could be fun.
I'll text you. And he walked away. I told my friend, oh my God, I hope he comes. Also the way you just looked. I like that.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
And then, I remember we were texting, and then eventually, he came to send.
Do you notice that, like, anytime she gives him a compliment, he's just like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because ultimately, he doesn't like himself, okay? So he doesn't like himself, he doesn't think he's attractive, and he doesn't think he's worthy of her. Which is why, ultimately, he's cheated on her and destroyed the relationship, because subconsciously, he doesn't think he's worthy of her. So when she gives him a genuine compliment or looks at him like he loves her, like she loves him, he doesn't actually believe it. He can't truly receive it because he doesn't think this about himself. And this is that thing where people say you can't love another truly until you love yourself. And I know that gets a lot of people's backs up because they're like, but I do love people, I do. And it's like, yeah, you love people, but you can only love somebody to the capacity that you have the capacity to love. And if your heart is full of hatred for yourself, if your heart is full of, like, you know, disgust and low self-esteem and hatred, then there's no way that you can have like a healthy relationship with another person, because every time they give you that love that you don't have for yourself within yourself, you'll reject it and you'll presume it is, you know, lies or manipulation or whatever, you know?
Santorini, he arrived like 2 hours later than me and my friends. And yeah, we actually had a blast. I have to say, guys, he was so weird and awkward in Santorini. We'd all go out.
Come on.
And he would be like playing chess on his phone.
Okay, no, because I don't like going out, right?
My hubby plays chess on his phone. Don't go after the chess boys. They're the best ones.
Like, I'm a very introverted person.
But I'm also introverted, but I was like, this trip is for going out.
Yeah, Liz was in I'm trying to have fun mode.
Yeah.
I was just in, I don't know, like, from my POV, whenever you invited me, I honestly, I called my best friend, and I was like, dude, this crazy thing just happened. I told him the situation, and he's like, well, you're gonna...
Nothing. Why do they have such small water bottles in America? I keep seeing people like a water bottle like that. Like, what the fuck is that, America? Like, as if we don't have enough plastic waste that you're making bottles that are 100 milliliters. Like, that needs to change. Donald Trump, get on it.
Go.
Petition Donald Trump for bigger water bottles.
Oh, right? And I was like, I guess, I'm gonna go. And the whole, like, the first day, I remember there was a moment where I was wanting to have more friends that were like-minded, more people in my life that are interested in manifestation and aware of energies and all of this. And so in my head, like, Liz was that person, and I wanted to just be friends with you, to be honest. And I told you that right away. I was like, hey, I'm trying to be, like, I want to be friends.
Yeah.
And then
I was definitely not going to be friends with him.
I couldn't believe that. But no, within like 24 hours, I realized, because Liz, you know, you and I, we had a good first night, like, getting to know each other. And then the next day we went and explored the island, and we like got some of your merch stuff set up. And we had this moment where we went and we got French fries at like a kebab place, and we're just talking.
And I think the one thing that I loved about you the most was, I felt like for the first time I had someone that was actually adding value to me as well in the things that I knew. Because oftentimes, like, in a relationship, I've always felt like I'm teaching my partner something, but there's like nothing really back. Like, I think very deeply about the world, and you think the same way.
But then after that, I had this overwhelming sensation. It was like, you know, you would say it's like a voice in your head, but I had this overwhelming sense that I was going to marry you, and that you were like the answer to my prayers in so many ways. And you're literally like...
This is like, be careful what you pray for, guys, because, you know, sometimes the answer to your prayers will be like, oh, please God, give me more patience. And then you get a boyfriend that is like fucking annoying as fuck. Or you get stuck in every single traffic queue, or your car breaks down. And trust me, you'll learn patience, but you have to learn it through trauma. You have to learn it through pain. Human beings only learn through pain. We don't learn through happy, joyous experiences, because what's to learn when everything's peaceful, happy, and you're content? So when you ask for a lesson, be aware that that lesson will be given to you in a way that is done through pain. You know, suffering is a choice. Suffering is done through you refusing to learn the lesson, but you know, the lesson will always come through pain in some way, shape, or form. So be careful what you ask for.
I feel like I manifested you. And I was sitting thinking, oh my God, I feel like I manifested you.
Yeah.
And then from that moment...
That was one of the questions as well, by the way. Do you guys think you manifested each other? I really think I did that. Even because I don't have that book with me. It's probably in the US right now. Like, when I get there, I'll show you what I wrote down. So similar. I actually got scared of my own abilities to manifest.
Yeah, well, I said this in a live stream my buddy Cody was doing that before, you know, a little bit before we had met in person, I was dealing with this relationship and I said out loud, you know, at the end of the day, whatever I'm dealing with is okay because there's still girls like the Wizard Liz out there.
Yeah.
And in my head, you know, over the time that from the time I met you and then watched you become successful, I felt I related with you and the things that you were saying. Like in my head, you were always such an ideal partner, ideal woman, ideal wife.
So ideal that he cheated on her whilst she was 4 months pregnant with his baby. Like, get a fucking grip. Let's see. I mean, presumably he knows he's cheating on her now.
And so, yeah, I don't think I like consciously sat in a dark room and meditated and was like, I'm going to manifest the Wizard Liz. You said I was weird during the Santorini trip. Yeah. I just want to clarify. Imagine God hits you in the face with the answer to your prayers, and it's so just abundantly clear that this is it. Like, this is the thing. I don't know, for me, I'm a bit of an overthinker.
I just like me and one of my ex-boyfriends where he's such a douchebag and he asked for somebody to come and rescue him. And then, you know, he gets the answer to his prayers and he fumbles the fucking bag because he still hates himself. You know?
So I was sitting there just like...
And then he hates you for loving him.
Thinking, oh my God, I have this feeling, like, how can I do this right? So a clear learning, a takeaway, a lesson I've got from this relationship is that God blesses those who seek and honor his blessing. Mm-hmm. So if you're at home and you're going through a hard time and then, you know, you start praying for something, God is not going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you need.
Oh, and God, don't. It makes me want to fucking cry. It makes me want to fucking cry for her. Like, you sanctimonious twat. Like, how absolutely fucking dare you sit there when she's pregnant, you know, she's probably in her first trimester at this current moment in time. You're sitting there, you know you've cheated on her, and you're literally saying about how God blesses you with a blessing as long as you receive it. And if you recognize the blessing that you've got, you get to keep it. But you didn't recognize the blessing that you got, so you didn't get to keep it, did you, Landon? Because now she's broken up with you because you're a cheating piece of shit.
That's if you recognize, oh man, hey, there is something going on here. God is helping me out.
Yeah.
If you honor those opportunities and those moments to grow, I think that's the secret to making your life get better so quick.
Yeah.
It sure is, and he's about to see his life go down the fucking pan because he didn't honor what he had. What he's done is he sat with it, he fucked it, he screwed it up, and then went off with someone else. What a piece of shit. I cannot fucking stand, like, as somebody who has a very devout spiritual relationship with God, and pretty much God comes into everything that I do now these days. I've been on a very long path with God, you know, and it's taken me probably 20 plus years to get to where I am right now. But like, as somebody that has a very deep relationship with God, I find it really obtuse. And it really irks me when you see people who are like doing, same with Aubrey Marcus last week, you know, he doing this thing where he's like, and everything's amazing and I'm wonderful and great life, blah, 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 blah. And he talks about God in this really sanctimonious way, but you're actually doing the antithesis of what God would want you to do. You think God wants you to knock her up and then cheat on her with some other woman because of your own insecurities and your own bullshit and your own ego. That's not God, mate. That's not God. You're doing a very ungodly thing.
I also want to add to that, if you, for example, want to manifest something.
Did you see the gulp? See the gulp then? Yeah, heavy gulp, because he knows what he's done.
And then that thing is right in front of you, you have to take that opportunity. Because, for example, imagine I saw Landon and I thought like...
So again, he's doing a lot of self-touching and now he's beginning to do a nervous self-grooming of the beard. Do you see that? Very self-grooming of the beard.
Oh my God,
not
like,
much
I feel all these things right now, but I didn't invite him to Santorini. I didn't listen to that voice in my head. This would have never happened.
Oh God, if only she had listened. If only she hadn't have done it. Now, I mean, this is the epitome moment of this whole conversation, bless her. Of that moment of clarity that she's going to watch this back and be like, fuck.
But still...
See the laughter? Look at his face there. How fucking nervous does he look?
What I wanted, but I could have still had the free will to choose to not do that. So you always have to be clear, like when it arrives, you have to know and feel like, is this the right thing?
It's like a mix of putting yourself on the right path and having that intention, because your intention really does create your reality.
Yeah.
Combined with getting out of your own way.
Yeah.
And that's like that's something you just have to experience to really learn how to do. And I think we're still learning how to do it every day.
What is the hardest part of marriage life? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think the hardest part of marriage, two things that come to mind. As I said at the beginning, you have to learn how to grow with somebody. And no couple is 100% compatible. There's a story I heard from Steve Jobs early in the day. Early in his life, he had a mentor that took him to some garage and put these really sharp and rugged rocks into this rock machine. It's a rock polisher. And the guy takes these rocks, he throws them in, he puts the lid on, he turns the machine on, and then for 72 hours, there's this loud, rugged banging, and the rocks are slamming against each other. And it's a 72-hour process, where at the end of that process, you open the lid up, the machine turns off, and you see that these rocks are perfectly smooth, and they're smooth with each other, they're compatible. And so I think there's this notion of compatibility in relationships. Oh man, you gotta find the person you're 100% compatible with. It's true that you're gonna be more compatible with certain people naturally, but you have 90% in the right place, and then there's that 10 that you feel needs to be worked on. Like, that is the work that needs to be done in a good relationship. And that's the...
So he's saying a lot of good stuff, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying, but the difficulty I think sometimes is that we know something intellectually, but it doesn't connect with us within our hearts. Like you can know stuff, but you can't synthesize it or apply it, then the knowledge is pointless, you know? Intelligence is two words, is intellect and generare, and intelligence is the ability to use what we know in a way to generate something in a creative manner. And it's like, you can know what you need to do in life but not know how to apply it. And he is the epitome of this. You know, he knows all of the stuff, but also I wonder if there's another kind of layer of kind of narcissism or egocentrism to this, where I find a lot of these, you know, it's like male feminists, like, you know, like the ugly guy who's like his whole shtick to sleep with women is that he's a feminist. And you're like, ew. You're like, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a male feminist in my perspective. Because it's like, especially the ones that are doing it just to get laid. It's like, you're not a nice guy. You're not a feminist in any way, shape, or form. And you know, don't use a political movement to try to get laid. That's really pathetic. But it feels a bit like this. It's like these guys who do this, like, I'm going to be spiritual. It reminds me of that meme where it's like, you know, I found out that your mum was spiritual, so I sent her loads of 1111s just to trick her into falling in love with me. And it's kind of like that. It feels a little bit predatory. That is this kind of like guy who's kind of watched her online, and he keeps on pretending that he didn't like binge watch her. But it's like, you binge watch somebody, you can find out a lot about someone. You know, somebody on my channel could sit and watch, you know, the 360 videos that I've got on here, you know, and learn a lot about me, and then suddenly like happen upon me in an airport and manipulate the shit out of me, you know, based on the information that I've given across. And you know, thankfully I'm pretty discerning, and thank God I'm in a relationship, not interested, you know. But it's like, you know, people could totally manipulate you to fall in love with them because they have so much information on you, you know. So, and it seems to be, I don't know whether he's genuinely doing that or not. I'm just saying, like, you know, these people who kind of like put on the mask of spirituality because they know that it gives them a way in. It's like Ted Bundy, you know, Ted Bundy pretending that he's got a broken leg so he can appeal to women, and they don't feel like he's a danger to them. You know, if you're a spiritual man, the idea of being a spiritual man isn't predatory, but in history we've seen a lot of the people that purport themselves to be spiritual are predators. You know, and the same for religious people. You know, a lot of the evil men and women, but a lot of the evil things that have been done predicated under this idea that I'm a good guy. Like, you're not a good guy. You're not a nice guy. People who have to go around telling everybody that they're good, nice people are not nice people. I'm a fucking cunt. I'm a bitch. It's fine. But I'm also a really kind, loving person to the right people. I can own my darkness and my light. People who think they're all light, that's a problem. That's a problem, because if you don't know you're a monster, Like, we're all monsters. Not to sound like Jordan Peterson, but we are all monsters. Every single one of us has got the capacity to do great evil. We have to make the active choice not to do it. But if you don't know you're a monster, you can't make the active choice to not be a monster. Which is why Jordan Peterson says, you know, you have to be a monster and then learn how to control it. Like, this guy thinks he's the kindest person ever, and actually he's a monster because he hasn't recognized that he's got capacity to do great evil. And that's what he's done. He's broken this relationship, and he's bringing a child into a broken marriage because he chose himself, because he didn't realize that he had capacity to do evil. And he's done it.
The work that, you know, we've signed up for and that we're doing, and it's not always easy to do that work. Like, this is part of it. Like, yeah, we're gonna have arguments here and there. Yeah, you're gonna think I'm an idiot at times. Remembering that that's part of it. It's hard, but
yeah. I think for me, the hardest part about marriage is honestly living with someone, like especially a man.
Are you saying I'm hard to live with?
No, I told you this. The reason why I never wanted to get married was because I don't want like someone constantly around me. I love my alone space. I think I like really can connect with myself a lot when I am alone. So sometimes, like, even when we're living together, I really missed living alone because I was like, oh, I had my own space, could like get ready and then go on a date with you. It wasn't like getting ready in front of you, like.
And boundaries, people. Like, you don't have to live in somebody's pocket just because you're in a relationship with them. Like, I've got autism and ADHD. I need a lot of fucking alone time. Like, I can't cope with people being in my space. When I'm overstimulated, I can't deal with people touching me. Like, if it's a case of I need alone time, I can't sleep with you tonight, I need you to go away for a few hours. Like, your partner should be able to accommodate that. You know, because if they're conscious and they're self-aware, they'll know that it isn't about them. My partner knows I don't hate him. When I'm asking him to sleep in another room, it's not because I dislike him and I don't love him and I don't want him with me. It's because I can't sleep or I'm overstimulated and I need that time on my own. When you're unconscious, you make everything about you. Okay, when you're conscious, you can accept somebody's words as verbatim truth. I'm struggling, so can I have the bed tonight? Okay, great. You know, so it's like this kind of thing where I think people kind of have these, again, unrealistic ideologies about what a romantic relationship should look like, that you're supposed to be tied at the hip. You know, and a healthy relationship is you and your partner deciding to walk parallel on the path of life together. And they're not going on their own path anymore. You're not going on your own path anymore. You've both decided to abandon your individual paths and carve out a path together. You're not like this. You're not enmeshed. You're not, becoming one. That's all fucked up. You're two people that are deciding to walk each other home on a new path that you've carved out together. That's a healthy relationship, in my very unhumble opinion.
It was just so much space.
Oh, just to be clear, guys, if you don't know me, my name is Laura. And I've made so many fucking mistakes in my life. You know, I've studied the occult, psychology, mental health for over 20 years. I'm a late diagnosed autistic ADHDer. I have had every single mental health issue, from eating disorders to drug addiction to alcoholism. And I have been through very, very bad experiences in my life, from rape to abuse to bullying to the whole shebang. So I've been through the whole fucking, the whole thing, the whole thing in life. And basically the reason why I say what I say is because I've been through some really fucking hard lessons, and I want to teach you guys what I've learned through the hard lessons without you having to suffer as much as I did. Just basically me. Hi, welcome. Subscribe, give me a like, leave me a comment. I do love hearing from you.
It's for myself. That's the hardest part for me. Wanting more alone space.
Then, like, the second I'm gone, you're like, oh my god, I miss you so
much.
Where are you?
Of course. I think also we both work from home. Normal couple goes to work, you know, and like 9 to 5, and then they see each other in the evening or something. But we see each other a lot. Like,
well, we're also homebodies too.
Yeah,
so, like,
we
Liz
don't
and I,
go really anywhere.
there was a question that, like, when you guys were submitting questions that came in, and we saw it a bit early, and we were joking because they were like, what's the perfect date? And like literally that same day we were thinking about going to get food, and what we ended up doing is just ordering food. And it's like, that's a great date for us, you know? We just sit with each other.
Sounds like me and my partner.
Eat good food.
God, this video better not come up, bite me in my ass in like six, you know, in a year's time when I'm 4 months pregnant and my partner's cheated on me. If you do it to me, I'll kill you, okay? I'll kill you. If you're watching this, I see you. I don't think he will. But hang on a minute, he was a nerdy guy and he is updating. Uh-oh, no.
First, told him, I'm like, look, also my biggest thing was when I got out of my previous relationship, I was like, oh, so it's done now for me because I'm not going on dates with anyone. So I really think that God like sent you right in front of me. That was the perfect thing because
no, it was a test. You said you weren't going to get a date and anybody. You were supposed to be rehabilitating your heart. You were supposed to be being celibate and looking after you. Then you get this random fucking bum that you've been talking to on Instagram that you don't even fucking like, who all of a sudden has popped in to like shake up your world. The fuck are you doing, you dumb bitch?
Wasn't you, it would have been no one. I like going on dates with strangers.
Yeah. We were both talking about that when we first were dating, how we were like, yeah, we're never going on first dates again. Like, this is it.
Yeah, I just don't like, imagine like constantly sitting with someone, listening.
Oh, God, like how to settle, isn't it? It's like, I don't like doing uncomfortable things, so I'm going to settle with this thing that's right in front of me.
And stuff, and then constantly dating. Like, I have friends that do that. They're constantly dating, and there's just, when they talk to me, I'm just like, that sounds like a nightmare to me. I told him, I was like, look, I'm very introverted. I don't really leave my house. And he's like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then we got together. He's like, whoa, Liz.
You really like to stay upper hermit.
But you're worse, though.
No, come on. No,
oh my God.
I find my best to get us to go outside and like say, okay.
Excuse me?
No, for real.
Excuse me?
On the record, I'm the one who says, let's go on dates. And she's like, oh, yeah, maybe.
No.
and then I drag us, and then it's a good time.
Never seen, because normally Aries are like adventurous. They go outside.
No,
they do all
mine's
that.
an Aries. Oh God, don't do it to me, God. I've been a good girl.
You, they missed that part. He's just like so like me. It's really crazy.
I really like doing things with purpose.
A store, for example, and it's so full. We both don't like that. Like
Is he drinking the Red Bull? That in itself, I feel, is a red flag. Just saying.
Really get so much sensory overload from too many people.
You can get a little claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But also it's a bit different if
Liz, are you also undiagnosed autistic? Just gonna throw that out there.
if there's like people in there who know you, then you have to be a bit more aware of what's going on. Like Liz and I have a good time going places when we're like incognito mode, low key, but there's no way you're gonna say that I'm more of an upper hermit than you are.
Oh, you are.
Oh, okay.
But he still like goes.
God, you know, it's like you spend your whole time lurking on like on your social media career, and then you think, please God, don't make me fucking famous. I don't shit loads of followers. This is gonna be awful. Can you imagine having to always be? I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty honest online about who I am, so probably people would just overhear me and be like, no, she's a bitch. She's not just a bitch in front of the camera. She's a bitch everywhere. I went to go get my picture taken with her. She wasn't even nice.
Out with his friends sometimes.
That's like, I've been thinking about Doja Cat recently. It's like, you know how Doja Cat like played the whole thing and she's like, you know, just joining in with doing all like the music that she did originally. You know, and just playing that sexy kind of like thing. And then now she's completely switched up and it's like, okay, that's great. She made it. But now that she's flipped, like nobody's interested in where she's gone because her whole audience wanted something that she was pretending to be. So I'm just going to continue being a cunt. And if you like it, then great, stick around. And if you don't like it, then fuck off.
So that's where you win.
Yeah.
Because I only talk to my friends online. I'm an online existence. Have you ever argued about something very hard? How did it finish? Me and Landon, oh my God. Look guys, we spent 3 months in Switzerland together. Like a month ago, yeah. We were literally surrounded by nature. There was nothing there. And I couldn't take the car and go anywhere, so Landon had to always drive me if I wanted to go somewhere. But even if I want to go somewhere, there's nothing there. No food deliveries, only like fast food.
We were in a place in Switzerland that's it's extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
We were in a nice Airbnb for a while, but at the end of the day, the convenience factor of that place was just
bad.
It's hard when you're a entrepreneur, you're working every day, especially working on Sundays, to not be able to order food conveniently.
Sundays,
it's just something you gotta
closed.
get used to.
Everything is closed. Nothing's open. So I was literally going crazy.
And you love to go, do nice shopping and get dressed up and do these things.
No, like I told him, this is like an aquarium. We're stuck in an aquarium, and we were constantly together because I couldn't go anywhere, and we were like stuck. So naturally, we were constantly also.
Not naturally. Okay, like a bit of bickering, yes, familiarity breeds contempt, but if you can't sit and spend months with your partner without getting into constant fights, I would say that you have a deep-rooted issue there, personally. Like, my ex-partner, we were together like 5 years. I think I can count on one hand how many arguments we had where voices were raised. Like you shouldn't be fighting. There shouldn't be arguments. There should be, heated conversations. That's different. Debates, that's different. But there shouldn't be arguments. You shouldn't be fighting with your partner. It should never get to that point. And if you're getting so dysregulated and triggered that you're fighting, you need to do time out, go and take time away from each other, and when you're calm, come back. If it starts again and begins to escalate, then step away. Did you know that you lose 7 points of IQ, which is quite significant for some people, because apparently there's some people out here only with like 90 IQ. I mean, that's a lot. So if you lose 7 points and you're not highly intelligent, that's quite significant. That's why the world looks the way it does right now. So if you're angered, if you're triggered, then step away, come back when you're less triggered and still have some of those brain cells intact.
Arguing about like the stupidest things though. Did we argue about like crazy things? Let's think.
I think we've definitely, this is part of the work I was talking about earlier. Like, we definitely butt heads at times on things that we should be talking through and figuring out together. And that's it. Like
his mood swings. He has mood swings.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy mood swings.
Okay, you want to be this for real? We're going to start airing each other out? Yeah. Really?
Okay. He wanted honesty, but now he got aired out. He doesn't want honesty anymore.
Okay, so
and threatens her. Guys, let's see what he's got to say about her.
Okay, so Liz, she loves mischief and chaos a little bit. Like if she's a little too, so if Liz is a little too, it isn't super exciting or whatever, she's gonna like come up to me randomly and then sit, even if I'm sleeping.
Okay, if I know where this is going, where it's like she thrives in chaos in some way, shape, or form, and so she creates a problem where there isn't one by creating a trigger that is unnecessary, then this is a pretty toxic relationship. It's a problematic relationship. They're both very emotionally mature, and it's a very sad thing that they're bringing a child into this, because it doesn't seem like either of them are emotionally mature enough to even be in this relationship together, let alone bringing another life into the world. And I think this is something that we all really need to talk about a lot, is actually how many people who are grown up children that are having children and they are not emotionally regulated, they're not emotionally stable, they're not mentally stable, they haven't done the personal work. So who the fuck do you think you are having a child? Like having a child is a really, really big deal. And as somebody who had a pretty brutal childhood because of emotionally immature parents, like the thought of bringing a life onto this planet, and me not being emotionally mature enough to be able to hold space for that child and me not get triggered, I wouldn't do it unless I know I was capable to do that. And so many people go into having children just so fucking easily. Like it's just such a fun and easy thing, and I want a mini me, and it's like, you're a dickhead. This is why the whole world is filled with people who are desperately unhappy, and why generational trauma has continued for so many lineages, because people are not doing the personal work and they're just passing their problems onto their children because of a refusal to become conscious. Because it would just be so nice to have a little me. You're an egomaniac.
And then say something just...
Sorry, that was a big rant.
To get like energy, basically, like just to get something going. To get that dopamine.
I say something just to poke at him.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's really nice. Like there was that one time you woke me up on the plane and you're like, babe, wake up. And I was like, and you're like, I just made tea. And I was like, really? Yeah, for me, I made tea. I was like, great. But
yeah.
And it seems like little old Liz over there isn't as innocent as she so first was perceived. And obviously, because like attracts like, if you're somebody who's unhealed, you won't attract a healed person, because you can only attract the mirror version of yourself. So, you know, vibe attracts vibe. And, you know, is it Chinese prisoner of war torture, where they continue to wake you up and do things like that? Like, what are you waking your partner up for? To taunt them? Like, that is low level abusive. Where's my little red flag? Let me wave it.
Other times it's like, I think one of the most beautiful things about Liz is she is such a butterfly, in the sense that she's really tapped into her emotions and she's free flowing. But sometimes in that she'll feel something and then like say it to me.
I genuinely say everything, I think.
Yeah.
And
Autism.
that has been issues in this relationship as well. I say everything, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And emotional immaturity. Like, I'm a very honest person. I work on a filter, which is very hard because I have ADHD as well. But I work on having a filter. I'm at this current moment in time unmasking for all of the masks that I've had, so probably I'm a little bit less filtered than I typically would be. But you know, we do have to be kind towards people. We can't just walk around being like, well, I'm just honest and blunt, so I just tell you you're a prick every 2 minutes. You know, it's like, and ultimately, if you've got a lot of brutal, nasty things to say to somebody, you probably don't like them. So why are you in a relationship with them? Like, I mean, my partner irritates me. Like, that's okay. Like, I get irritated. Well, he doesn't irritate me. I'm irritable, and he's there. It's different, you know. Like, people irritate you, but it shouldn't be this, you know, this fucking thing where I'm just honest. I'm just honest. Like, part of that is just, you know, you're just deliberately being hurtful towards people.
It's always like, Liz, sometimes it's okay to lie.
Well, no, you just gotta be tactful.
Yeah, tactful.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta like think about where this is going.
Yeah, I know.
Like one morning, she woke me up and she's like, Brandon, she's like, you need to wake up. It's 2 p.m. And I was like, okay, yeah, sorry. I told you I was gonna sleep in late. It's my Saturday. I gotta recharge.
Who the fuck sleeps in till 2 p.m.? Jesus.
And she's like, oh, and by the way, it stinks in here. And I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
And she's like, yeah, I walked in, I almost threw up because you're so stinky. And I was
Okay, it is me. It is me.
like, what? And I take offense, okay? Like, I don't want to be a stinky person. Am I a stinky person for the record?
You're not a stinky
Okay,
person.
like if I have body odor smell, ugh.
Lately, I've been smelling everything very hard.
And so
She's pregnant.
she comes
Like,
in.
everywhere I go, I smell everything. So everyone has been getting it.
Anyway, she comes in, she's like, yeah, you're stinky. And I'm like, what? I'm just waking up. What? She's like, no, it's not you. Like, you don't smell like BO. You just have like a body smell right now that's stinky. I was like, what? And she's like, oh no, it's not that. It's actually, you just sleep with your mouth open. And so I'm like, what are you trying to?
Why are you saying that?
I'm just letting them know.
My partner will be watching this, be like, you and Liz are sharing some things. I have autism. I'm gonna use the autism get out card here, guys.
You just love to get me like going, you know.
No, I just genuinely, that was a real concern. That was not to poke at you. It just, I smelled like too much. I smelled too much lately.
She's pregnant.
Shouldn't smell
I
this much.
smell too much lately. That's okay.
What are some qualities you both admire about each other? You start.
I love that thing I said a moment ago. I love how you're like a butterfly. That's something I really admire because I'm the complete opposite. Like, I'm so in my head. There's this thing that you do that.
So this is where, be careful what you ask for. You know, you want to be different, so your partner will, God will send you the exact opposite of you, and then, you know, see what comes as a result of that. You know, so you can learn off that person. But often it's done through, you know, the irritation that this person is so different to you until you learn to integrate the differences.
I specifically love when Liz is happy, she'll like click her knees together, and she doesn't realize that she's
Oh, she's absolutely autistic.
doing it, but it's something that I see every time you do it, and I'm just like, I don't know, that's just something that I love about you. It's like, yeah.
Me clicking my knees.
I love how we can have deep conversations. I love how we're thinking about things that are really esoteric, like not super interesting for a lot of people. The list goes on. Like, how long do you want me to go about what I love about you?
Very long, but you can continue after this video.
I love your laugh. I love you're very beautiful, but that's not even at the top of the list for sure. You're so sweet.
Great. Okay, awkward now. Okay, so things I admire
You're
about...
funny. It's really funny. She is.
We're like convincing ourselves.
Oh, never a truer word spoken in this, I think. I'm gonna have to wrap it up there, guys, because I actually have an appointment at 4 o'clock, and it is 10 to 4 at this present moment in time. But I'd love to hear from what you think. I can't even speak English anymore because I'm so tired as well. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Tell me what the tea is all about Wizard Liz, because I've only just discovered this person. Is there more tea? Has Landon been a stalker? You let me know, because you guys seem to be hunting at this stuff better than I am. So let me know in the comments what you think about this couple. I love you very much. I'll be back with, no doubt, some more scathing reviews of dipshits on the internet, as I hopefully don't become one myself. And I love you very much, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. It makes me happy when I see that little number going up. Whoop, whoop.